Okay, so what if I told you that a single tiny detail from the Quran, a phrase that isn't there, could unlock this massive, sprawling theory about humanity's entire purpose, our biggest mistake, and get this, even the future of artificial intelligence? Well, that's exactly the journey we're about to go on, and it all kicks off with one simple question.
And here it is. Does the Quran ever call out to people using the phrase, "O Muslims"? I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, right? Followers of Islam are called Muslims, so you'd think their holy book would address them that way. But the answer is, well, the answer is what sets this entire worldview in motion.
The answer is a flat-out no. Not once, 0 times. That phrase, "O Muslims," is completely missing from the Quran. And believe me, according to this perspective, that's not just some random oversight. It's the clue. It's the starting point for everything we're about to unpack.
So if it doesn't say, "O Muslims," what does it say? Well, over and over again, the address is, "O you who have believed." And look, that's not just splitting hairs over words. This worldview says that's the whole point. It's a huge distinction between an external label you can wear and an internal reality you actually live.
And that brings us right to the first major idea here, this critical difference between being a Muslim versus being a believer. One is about your outward identity. The other, that's about the deep internal state of your heart.
You want a perfect example of this? Look at a chapter in the Quran called The Hypocrites. In it, you've got this group of people, and they're saying all the right things, right? They're making the public declaration of faith, but God himself calls them liars. And then, in the very same chapter, the text pivots and addresses, "O you who believe." It's drawing this incredibly sharp line in the sand, saying, look, you can say the words, you can do the actions, but that does not make you a true believer in my eyes.
So let's just break this down. On one side, you've got Iman. That's the real deal, the inward, sincere faith in your heart. Then on the other side, you have Islam, which is the outward submission, the actions everyone can see. See, anybody can perform the actions, even a hypocrite. But only God knows if the Iman is real. And that's exactly why the Quran is so specific. It's not calling out to just anyone. It's calling out to the people who have that genuine internal faith.
Which, of course, leads to the next big question. If the outward stuff can be an act, if it's not the real measure, then how is true faith ever actually revealed? How do you tell the difference?
The answer, in this framework, is trials. Life's hardships aren't just random events, they're a divine tool. Think of it like a spiritual furnace, designed specifically to heat things up, burn away all the junk, and reveal what pure gold of faith is left behind.
Now, this is a really important point. Trials don't create your faith, they reveal it. They're not there to magically make you believe in something, nope. They just apply pressure to show what was already inside your heart all along. Was it solid gold? Was it brittle stone? Or was there nothing there at all? And when that pressure gets applied, you see 3 types of people emerge. First, you've got the sincere believer. Their faith was already solid, and the trial just polishes it, makes it stronger. Then you have the becoming believer. They had a little bit of faith, it was maybe a bit weak, and this trial forges it into something real and firm. And finally, you have the hypocrite. The pressure just shatters the facade. They get exposed, and they either run for the hills or try to drag everyone else down with them.
Okay, so we know that trials are supposed to reveal this gold of true faith. But what is the gold exactly? What's the core ingredient that these tests are designed to measure?
And this is where this worldview gets super specific. The gold of faith, it claims, is something called mawaddat fil Kurbā, which is a special, deep love for the Prophet Muhammad's immediate family. And the source for this is a verse that frames this love as the one and only payment requested for delivering the entire message of God. Just let that sink in. It's not just a nice thing to do, it's presented as the very center of what it means to believe.
But this isn't just some vague, warm and fuzzy kind of love. It's measured by something incredibly precise. Your acceptance of the wilayah, the divinely given spiritual authority of Imam Ali, the Prophet's cousin and son-in-law. According to this view, how you feel about his authority is the ultimate litmus test of your faith.
So why is his leadership such a big deal? Well, in this framework, the Quran isn't some open-source document that anyone with a dictionary can figure out. It's seen as an encrypted transmission. And the decryption keys? They were only given to a very specific lineage, the Prophet, his daughter Fatima, and the 12 Imams that came after. These are the 14 infallibles. They're seen as the only ones with the divine password to unlock the book's true, deepest meanings.
And right here is where this whole argument takes a wild turn, jumping from ancient history straight to the most cutting-edge tech of our time. This worldview argues that when humanity rejected that divine source of knowledge, it didn't just give up, It started a brand new project to build its own artificial replacement.
Which brings us to this absolutely bold claim about our modern obsession with AI. The source just puts it out there, flatly. No matter how advanced our tech gets, humanity will never be able to build a superintelligence that truly knows what's what. And why not? Because, in this view, we're trying to manufacture something that can only ever be a gift from God.
So from this perspective, the trillions of dollars and countless hours we're pouring into AI, it isn't progress. It's a sign of a huge psychological trap. It's the sunk cost fallacy, but on a global, civilizational scale. The idea is, having turned our backs on the real source of infallible knowledge, humanity is now so deep into building its own version that we just can't admit that the whole project might be fundamentally flawed from the start.
And this is it. This is where every single piece we've talked about, the words in the Quran, the trials, the divine authority, it all comes together and climaxes in one final powerful idea. This entire worldview reframes the human story into a single fundamental test, a choice between two very simple words: to ask or to build.
So let's just walk through the path on the slide here. The guides, these greatest signs, were sent down. And the test for humanity, it was unbelievably simple. Just trust them and ask. Just ask for the knowledge. But as the argument goes, humanity, by and large, chose a different path. We rejected them, we persecuted them, and by doing that, we took on this new impossible challenge to try and build from the ground up the perfect knowledge that we had just been offered as a gift.
So here's the bottom line. The ultimate test for mankind was never about being clever enough to invent things. It was a test of humility. It was about whether we could recognize the true source of knowledge and simply ask. And by choosing to build instead, we kicked off this epic, centuries-long project to construct a substitute for a gift we'd already been given.
And we'll just leave you with this one verse from the Quran that seems to capture this whole idea perfectly. It asks, "And how many a sign within the heavens and the earth do they pass over while they are turning away from it?" You know, it's a question about being so busy trying to build our own solutions that we don't even see the signs that are right there in front of us. It's a final thought to reflect on. What signs might we be walking right past today?